Yes, and welcome to yet another episode of the Automation Lab. I'm Andy.
And Grace. Today's episode will be a special one, which we are conducting as a live interview with one of the industry experts.
Yes, it's very exciting, right? Well, basically today we'll be discussing one of the most popular protocols out there, OPC UA, with a special guest, our subject matter expert, William, who is also the Business Development Manager for Beckhoff Automation Singapore.
William has worked in Beckhoff for more than 7 years, specializing in automation in general. After today's session, if you would like to connect with William, please feel free to email him or scan the below QR code to connect with him on LinkedIn.
Okay. Yeah, I would like to scan the QR code as well. I'd like to connect with him. Yeah. Oh, well, okay, without further ado, let's kick things off by welcoming our expert. Okay. Hi, William. Can you hear us?
Hello. Hello, William. Hi. So to begin, perhaps we can first ask, what is OPC UA?
Put it simply, OPC UA today is a communication platform for Industry 4.0 implementation. That's probably the simplest way to describe it. It aims to fulfill all the different communication scenarios in Industry 4.0. Hence, the OPC UA is still developing. Even today, it is not a finished product. It is still developing.
Okay. So the answer is I think it's a bit too general, I guess. Perhaps you can explain the background of how OPC UA was formed and what was the main motivation behind it?
Okay. Well, that's a fair question, actually. So OPC UA didn't start its life as an Industry 4.0 protocol. The predecessor of OPC UA, it was called OPCDA. Today, if you go to OPC Foundation website, it is called Classic OPC. That predecessor was born in the 90s, right, in the US. Not in Europe, but in the US. So back then, the main concern was how to unify the communication drivers between different PLC brands or DCS controllers or whatever it was. Right? So if you had 5 different PLCs or DCS brands, can you just have one communication driver instead of 5, right, to talk to all of those PLC brands out there? So instead of installing 5 separate drivers, and remember, this was the days of Windows 95 and Windows 98, right? So poorly written drivers were one of the greatest cause of blue screen of death back then, right? It's no longer the case today. So by installing those multiple drivers from different brands back then inside that Windows 95 or 98, you risk BSOD, blue screen of death, right? Because of clashes with the drivers. So the first OPC standard really solved this issue by creating a common communication driver.
Okay, let's see. Right.
So that was how it was intended back then. It seems not so far away with today's OPC UA intention as a common platform. So is it fair to say that OPC UA is a direct descendant of the old OPC DA?
Well, yes, you can say that in short, yes. But the long answer is a little bit more complicated. The first OPC-DA specification was based on the hottest technology at that time. So remember, it was the 90s. COM and DCOM, based on Windows technology, was the hot thing back then. So that was, if you remember the 90s, it was really a weird time. That was the time that people actually queued outside the store to buy a copy of Windows 95. So that was how popular Windows was at that time. It was truly the king of operating system back then. So it was really wise to really write the specification of the first OPC standard at that time to be based on Windows technology.
Well, in some ways, you can argue that Windows is still king today. So is OPC UA still based on Windows COM, DCOM technology?
Not really. Actually, in terms of market share, Windows is no longer king. They are no longer number 1. So if you're wondering, today, the #1 operating system in the market based on, market share is Android. It's no longer Windows, right? Windows is still hugely popular, but the bigger problem actually is not really the market share. The bigger problem for the old OPC standard was not that, it was security, right? COM and DCOM security. COM technology was created in the early 90s, I think if I recall correctly, right? So it was not created with security in mind. So they just created this for inter-process communications. And COM was only available in Windows. So if you want to use the OPC, the old OPC standard, you need to use Windows. So the OPC Foundation makes a conscious decision to move away from COM technology when they designed the OPC UA.
But that sounds like a good decision, of course, because if there are any security issues, it's good to move away from them. But in that case, so what is OPC UA based on then today?
So today, the OPC UA is based on standard Ethernet and IP technology. Right? So in this way, the OPC Foundation has made it possible for OPC UA to be truly cross-platform and can be implemented anywhere, everywhere. Right? So in Beckhoff, we have implemented OPC UA in Windows. That's #1, definitely. And in the future, we will also implement this in our TwinCat BSD, right? Our new operating system, which is based on FreeBSD.
So now that sounds cool, talking about cross-platform and all that. So does that mean that, no, it sounds like people that can implement OPC UA on their phones as well. Or is that why they became a standard of Industry 4.0?
Besides being cross-platform, which is truly a huge thing, OPC UA also have other qualities that make it very important for Industry 4.0. So namely, security and flexibility. OPC UA, unlike the COM and DCOM technology that came before it, OPC UA is designed with security at its core. Right? So they have signing and encryption, and it is also possible to authorize the different users to access different parts of the server, the different kind of information on the UA server. And then because of this layered approach taken in designing the OPC UA, they can add more security schemes as they become more available in the future. So the other big thing is flexibility, right? So where specific information model can be added into OPC UA standard. So this is called, the OPC Foundation is calling this the companion specifications of OPC UA.
Okay, that's another new thing, companion specification. What's that?
Well, in short, the OPC Foundation defines the how of OPC UA. How do you connect with each other? How do you handle the transfer of data? How do you handle the security? This is the how of OPC UA. And this is already defined by the OPC Foundation. Now the foundation is inviting the domain experts, the companies, the organizations to define the what's in the OPC UA. So what kind of data do we need to describe a robot, a plastic machine, a packaging machine, and so on and so forth? So this is the information modeling that is coming with inside this companion specifications.
Wow, companion specifications. Wow, okay. So maybe we should go back to the basics before you confuse and lose our viewers. So what can we do today with our TwinCat OPC UA?
Yes, so that's a great question, really. You probably have heard that Beckhoff was a great supporter of the OPC UA standard. In 2006, where the first specifications was written, we were the first to implement this in our, we were the first in the industry to come up with the UA server. So Beckhoff TwinCat OPC UA server is one of the oldest UA server you can find on the market today, right? So today, with OPC UA, with TwinCat OPC UA, you can already have the server, right? So we can also do client communication. So you have those server and client together. And on top of that, we can also do publish and subscribe.
Yes, we hope you've enjoyed the session, and stay tuned to the Automation Lab for another round of building automation sessions next week that may be beneficial to you.
Once again, don't forget to like and share our social media channels to your friends and colleagues. And remember to wear your mask. See you soon.
Bye.